Okay, we now welcome on a good friend, a recurring guest. It is Jon Taffer, live in studio. Taff Daddy, how we doing?
I'm great, Dan. How are you, buddy?
I'm feeling great. I feel great whenever you're around, and I feel like we needed this because I gotta be honest with you. I'm getting a little tired. We were working. Football season's a little crazy.
Yep.
So I need a little pep in my step. I need a little Jon Taffer pep talk.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm really impressed, buddy, with everything that you guys have done this year.
Oh, thank you.
You guys have elevated the brand to a new level.
Yep.
I must confess, his outfits are getting much better. Do you agree?
Yes,
I agree.
PFT's outfits are.
Color coordination is getting better.
Are we talking about my outfits? Or
No, I'm talking
Big
about
Cat's?
Dan.
Yeah.
You've come a long way. I'm guessing you're probably getting laid a little more.
By my hand.
Okay, well, that's what starts with the hand, and then it goes elsewhere.
Yes.
Listen, you got to practice.
So you're in a better place right now than you were a year ago. Big time.
Yes. I'm older, fatter, and more tired, though.
But you're also far more experienced, got a few extra dollars in your pocket. Life is good.
Yeah, the football season's been tough, Taffer.
But it's almost
How
over.
much cash do you have on you right now, by the way? That's actually why we really brought you in.
Is that okay? Well, I brought my checkbook.
Oh, okay. How's private jet life, by the way?
It's pretty good. I flew in last night. I had
He owns jet. Taffer, you bought your own plane.
I have a jet, yes.
That's nice. What
Big
kind
baller.
Of Gulfstream?
It's a Hawker 800.
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
medium-sized,
Yeah.
medium-sized
That's not that
corporate
big.
jet.
Yeah, it's like the Honda
Why
Civic.
didn't you get the good one?
No, it's a medium. It's a medium-sized jet.
Can you lay down?
Oh, it has a couch in it that I
Hold
lay
on,
down
I'm going
and
to look
sleep
it up
in.
right now.
Okay.
Hawker
Do you have,
800?
Hawker 800.
You have a bar in there?
I have a bar in there. I have a galley in there, a bar, restroom, lavatory.
Oh, you got a bathroom.
Oh,
all
you have
right.
a galley.
It's a beautiful plane.
Okay.
When you have your own private jet, do you just get to go up into the cockpit whenever you want?
Sure.
That's
And-
kinda cool.
And you know, one of the guys, well, not while they're landing, of course, but one of the guys will get out of the cockpit, and I'll go sit down in there.
Oh,
So-
the pilot seat? Will
Wait,
they let you take
sure.
the sticks just for a second and be like, hey, let it rip?
Well, we can't say that online, but yes, I have.
Okay.
How many? Good thing this isn't being taped. How many? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the video too. It's pretty nice.
You know what the nice thing about
Do you have your
private
own
jets
yeah.
and private yachts are? You always have pictures of them online. So whenever somebody buys like a yacht, you can just go, if you know the name of it,
Right.
you can just Google it, and people just want to put pictures of their boat
Yeah.
online. So
Same
you see
with the
exactly-
plane. You can type in my name, and it'll come up,
Your
and you
tail
can see
number?
pictures of it. Well, I won't tell you my tail number, but if you put in my name, you can probably
So
find it.
do you bring your whole team with you wherever you go, or you ever fly
No,
on it
you
by
know-
yourself?
It's 90% of the time I'm by myself. You know what it's become?
That seems a little excessive, Taffer.
No, it's not. It's not to travel the team around. What it is for me being in my business, and you'll relate to this.
Yeah.
Being in the television business, what happens is my show wraps at night, and I can't do events the next day because I have to travel the next day. So by buying the plane, I fly at night.
So the plane actually is making money for you.
It gives me 52 more days a year
Pays for itself.
of availability, and I book
Yes.
speeches on those days, which pays for the plane. So, for example, suddenly yesterday I had a reason to come to New York.
Yeah.
So I jumped on my plane 11 o'clock
Was it
last
us?
night. No, it wasn't.
Oh,
anybody.
okay.
It was
All
you're,
right,
you're
all
a
right.
consequence
Okay,
stuff.
all right, yeah,
So
yeah.
I flew all last night, landed at 7 this morning because of the snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get in after the snowstorm. So I landed at 7 this morning in Teterboro.
Yep, been
And
there.
here I
Saw
am.
Bradley Cooper there. Well, I saw the back of his head walking on the tarmac, but it was Bradley Cooper.
He was walking away from you.
He was
though, wasn't
walking
he?
very
Interesting.
fast
So
away.
when you have a private jet, how what's the lead time? If you want to fly somewhere, let's say in 3 hours, one of your buddies is like, "Hey, fly down to Miami. We'll do an event tonight." Can you do that like 3 hours?
Well, it
notice?
isn't just a plane; it's a crew. So we have a hangar in Las Vegas, our own private hangar. We have our own private crew,
Yep.
and we have a flight department. So we have a mechanic on staff, a pilot on staff, and an SIC second in command on staff.
So it's the same pilot every time.
yeah, they work for me. They're on the payroll, so they're exclusive to us. So I could call last night. I called and I was in the air 3 hours later.
Have you had a
Interesting.
moment yet where you're like, I can't believe this is my life?
Sure. When I bought the thing, which was about a year and a half ago.
I remember when you bought it. You told
Yeah,
me about it.
Of course
I was like,
did.
Holy shit.
I told fucking everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Just
You
it's
have
one of
to.
those kind of things.
That's what you do
That's-
when you buy a plane.
That's
It's
part of
something-
paying for itself.
Yeah.
But it's a part of life that you never thought you'd ever achieve that. So, you go there at night. So I would buy the thing the first week. I'd drive the hangar at night.
Yeah.
I'd open up the door.
Look,
I'd
you just
do it.
like, yep, still
and
there.
I'd just sit in the freaking plane and just, revel in the moment and say, holy shit, I can't believe that I've actually accomplished.
Now,
That's
is there anything
awesome.
to prevent you from living in your plane?
It's funny. I almost want to turn it into an RV.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just live out of the plane. Why
That
not?
would be sick.
And it's fun, and I stop along the way. The cool thing about the plane is next week I go to Puerto Rico to start shooting a new TV show, and I'll stop at 5 cities on the way and see friends.
Ooh. Ooh.
So that stuff's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you, if not saying this isn't for you, this is for maybe some people who create like a fake goldfish gambling Ponzi scheme situation. Could you possibly just be like, hey, I want to get out of the country, let's go?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, good to have
so
a
we
friend.
need to.
Well,
so if we
not
make
us,
if we
but
sell enough T-shirts,
if
we can get our
anybody-
private jet and we can get out of Dodge real fast.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's something you want to always keep available in your
it would
back
be
pocket,
nice.
particularly for you, Dan.
Yes.
Do you have a plan? Hypothetically, all the shit hits the fan. Some weird stuff happens. You're not involved in, but you are implicated in. What country are you flying to?
It's funny. I've never really looked at it that way
Really?
before. Yeah.
I would absolutely have like a go bag.
You gotta have
and
something.
a flight plan.
Yeah. Some country.
Like
I think
Ecuador, right?
Aruba, maybe Aruba.
Yeah.
Aruba, that's a good
An
That's
one.
good.
island is cool.
Yep.
At least it's a nice view on the way.
Yep.
No extradition.
I
there,
like
think.
that. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
that's nice.
So what else you got cooking?
Nothing. I got a new TV show. I'm pretty excited about it.
Tell
Now,
us
I'm
about
not
it.
stopping Bar Rescue because Bar Rescue ratings are the same.
You better not.
They don't freaking change.
I love it.
So we have 11 that we've already shot. So Bar Rescue new season starts in January.
Nice.
I start shooting 12 more Bar Rescues in February.
Okay.
Which will carry through the rest of
Where?
the year.
What cities?
So I'm doing this year. I'm doing 3 in Key West,
Okay.
3 in Tampa,
Okay.
3 in Kansas City,
Okay.
and 3 in Denver.
Okay, listen.
So we need
to
to
go to Key West.
No,
So-
I was gonna say
so-
Denver.
so-
No,
so
no,
listen,
high.
so-
Are you kidding me?
High.
Dude, you can
So-
get high in Key West.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on,
sure.
guys. It's. I want to plug into the
Different
right.
kinda high.
It isn't the city. I want to plug into the right bar.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With the right people and the right staff and all of that. Because I've put you, like when we put you in the last one, I could have put you in a better bar.
The St. Louis one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It could have been a
Yeah.
more fitting environment for you. So I want to put you guys in a place where it's really fun.
Do we get the private jet when we want to go to Tampa, or is Tampa a strip club? I assume. You're just bar
hoping.
rescuing
See,
3 strip
immediately,
clubs.
Siri's head goes
Well, that's
there.
all they. I mean, it's steakhouses and strip clubs, and usually it's the combined in Tampa.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're talking about Rachel's. Where you
Yes.
can get the steak.
Yes, Hank and I went there.
Yeah, so you get the meat and the dairy at
Yes,
the same time.
You literally are sitting like there's a glass enclosed spot where it's like a $70 steak, and you're just sitting above a strip club.
That's amazing.
Walkway.
It's like a little
insane.
slice of heaven.
Yeah,
I love. By the way, I
that's the
love
end of society right there. By the
I
way,
love
that's
this-
the epicenter.
the strip club sports bars are great. So
Yes.
the girls dancing on stage, somebody hits a home run, everybody applauds, and
Yep.
she says thank you.
Yes, yes,
I love it.
exactly.
Just make me a promise. When you go to Key West, there is a bar there. If you rescue this bar, there's one Barstool that has Mike Leach's name carved underneath it, and I don't want you to get rid of that stool. That's like a
Yes.
very, very important
Coach of
stool.
Washington
I'll
State.
check with
Washington
you.
State University coach. Keep
Yes.
it there. Don't get rid of that. I actually had a question for you about like a new type of. Well, it's not that new of a restaurant, but it's like a novelty restaurant. It's the one that you go to and you sit down and the servers just berate you. You know, they just
Yeah.
like call you a piece
Ed
of
DeBevick's.
shit. Ed DeBevick's, Dick's Last Resort.
Yep, Dick's was the first one that actually did that.
Well, see, you'll start a controversy in Chicago because the Chicago guy will
Mm-hmm.
say it was Ed's. But does that actually work? Where do you stand on that? Because it pisses me off a little bit.
You know, it's a place that you go once. You're not going to go back. So, you know, things like that are novelty.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's novelty's good.
But how many times are you going to go there and just, you know, have a curse at you, chew
I don't
gum
know.
in your face?
I think there's some people that are like, you know, who like to be dominated.
Yeah.
They
Well,
call
you-
subs. Yeah,
subs,
right.
yeah.
You prefer the abuse.
Yeah,
No,
Big Cat's a sub.
I don't personally. I'm saying there are some people, just like there are some people who like the lobster machine that you hate.
So you're
Fucking love that
suggesting
lobster
then?
machine.
So you're suggesting to me that Ed DeBevick's or Dick's Last Resort is a place that only losers who like to be abused would go?
We don't call them losers.
No.
Some people are subs. It's
Okay, so they're
it's a thing.
the submissive that like to be abused.
yeah, S&M stuff like Big Cat likes. I have to whip him before every show
Yes.
to get him in the zone.
I got you.
There's
See my
nothing wrong with
back.
that. Don't kink shame.
Wait, so the lobster machine.
Yes.
Can we please come on?
You want to talk about the lobster
Let's
machine.
just put, let's let lobster machines. They're funny. You
They're
catch a lobster and then you cook it.
Yes.
And
And the freaking, you ever hear what the lobster does when you drop it in a pot of boiling water? You ever hear that?
Mm-hmm.
cries a little.
Freaking thing screams. Here's the problem
cries.
with the lobster tank. And
I
I'll
thought you were
just-
tougher than that.
I'll tell you, here's the problem with the lobster tank.
Mm-hmm.
That people that cook the lobsters from those tanks are bartenders that don't know how to cook lobster. These are not seafood restaurants. So they boil the water at a low temperature.
Yeah.
They drop the thing because they
That's
don't give
mean.
it long enough.
Well, that's a hot tub.
and it's really freaking cruel.
Yeah,
so
that's
this
mean.
thing goes in water that doesn't quite kill it, but tortures it. until
Okay.
the
All right,
temperature
fine.
goes
You
up.
changed my opinion on the lobster machine.
But if you had a lobster machine in like a 5-star high-end seafood restaurant, then
That would be
fine.
different.
By the way,
what's
we're
stopping that?
To explain this, we're talking about the actual, like, the claw machines. You get the little prizes. You put $1 in, you get the claw machine, you pick up a prize. It's that, but for lobsters, live lobsters.
I think that would be nice at like a 5-star, like a Michelin-starred restaurant to have a little lobster machine.
Yeah.
You put your quarter in, and you get the claw.
But what does make...
We used to do something years ago in a restaurant called Nothing But Net, and we'd set up a basketball net in the corner of the restaurant, and we'd have 3 foul lines, one for kids, one for women, one for men, and after you ordered your entree, you went up and took a shot. And if you got it in, your entree was free.
I like that.
If you didn't get it in, you got a ticket for 2 shots next week.
I like that.
So then after you could take 2, then you could take 3, then you could take 4, and we'd move the line back
gradually.
So only about 3% of the people would hit it.
I like that.
But it was really, really popular, and it's sort of what you're talking about.
And well, in Madison, they had a flip night at State Street Bots where you got to flip for your drink order. Flip a coin.
Gotcha.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty cool. Another one that we
good.
do is we'll take the wheel, the big spin wheel, and we'll put like 5 colors on it. So you get a yellow dot, you get a green dot, you get a blue dot. We spin the wheel. If blue comes up, everybody with the blue dot drinks for free.
I like that.
These
spin
are
it every
good novelty
45 minutes.
ideas.
Speaking of like Dom sub stuff, I was in a bar like 2 weeks ago, and they had one of those wheels up where it lands on one thing and you get a free shot of Fireball, or it lands on one thing and you have to do the like whipped cream shot. One of them was just to get up on the bar and get spanked by the bartender.
Okay, I like that.
I had a place years ago where we had an S&M bar in it.
Yeah, let's talk
And
more
it was,
S&M.
It was called Monkey Bar, and it was a hard rock and roll bar.
Okay.
And in the back we had a dominatrix station where you would get a shot and she'd whip your butt.
Yeah.
So you would take the shot, you'd put your hands on the bar, you'd assume the position, you'd spread them, and then she'd give you a couple of nice whacks.
It's just good, clean fun.
I like this.
It actually was really popular. People really liked it. But
I like this.
The fun was for you to buy Dan a drink.
And
watch him.
Yeah. So, like, all these are some good novelty concepts we're running through. What trend out there would you say is like on the way out now?
Steampunk.
I'll tell you what.
No, steampunk's here to stay, bro.
Steampunk is starting to fade a little bit. Even the stuff like Dick's is getting old. That stuff is getting old. I'll tell you what's fading. You guys are gonna start craft beer.
Ooh.
Craft beer is getting freaking killed right now. And what's happened in the
bubble.
craft beer world, well, what's happened is originally when people started making craft beers, they were into the beer.
Yeah.
Now they're freaking bankers that are into the money, so that half the craft beers now suck.
Yeah, they're bought out by the big guys,
And they're just not the same.
Yeah.
So now it's interesting. I was looking at a research document the other day. When you apply the word craft to beer, it has a negative consequence now. If you apply the word craft to whiskey, it has a positive consequence now.
I like that.
So beer is starting to fade. It's there's not one beer company in America that has projected positive sales this year. Not one.
That's crazy.
That is kind of wild. It's millennials. Millennials are
They're
drinking.
moving away from beer, and they're moving to wine. They're moving to spirits.
It's LeBron James.
Yeah.
And things like a Fireball.
Fireball
is a great example of whiskey, but it's flavored. But
Right,
it's
so
whiskey.
I want you to dispel something for me, and even if it's true, I want you to tell me that it's fake. I've heard that Fireball has antifreeze in it.
I've heard the same thing. I don't know that to be true.
That's a
Okay, I don't know it to be true either.
Give us a definitive list of things millennials have ruined in the bar and restaurant business.
Service
Service
is one.
Okay. Napkins.
Wait. In what way have we ruined service? Like from
Okay, now
the
you
service
guys.
perspective?
I'm about to get beat up over this, but there is a difference between the people that we hire today and the people we hired 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, you're talking about the other side. So okay.
I'm just talking about them as employees.
You have to
Got
pay
it.
them today.
Yeah, well, there's a difference, and
It's true.
You have to pay.
Yes, you do.
There's a difference. You
Yeah.
know what's happened today, and I think that even you guys might be this in a sense.
Okay.
When you grow up with social media today, you can post a picture of yourself looking the worst you've ever fucking looked, and somebody's gonna say, "Man, you look great today." Oh, bro, you look. They're bullshitting us. So we post this stuff and we get this bullshit gratification from people that like it and compliment us, and it doesn't mean shit.
Right.
So we grow up getting this instant gratification all the time for everything that we do. Cool this, cool that. Oh, awesome, you look great, great. So we want everything instantly to gratify us now. That's why you're a little frustrated now in football season.
No, I'm frustrated because I'm losing money.
Well, yeah, you want instant
I
gratification.
keep losing all my bets. That's
a whole
really
different-
all
that's
it
a whole
is.
different
Yeah.
thing. But so what's happened is though when millennials now go get jobs, the gratification isn't as quick as they're used to.
Counterpoint.
So they leave and they don't stay very long.
Okay. Counterpoint. Social media lets us know when someone like puts a pube or spits in our burger.
Yes.
Okay.
Particularly the pube, I would think would
so
step
now
up.
we're okay.
Social media also, you can take a picture of like a celebrity that leaves you a really good tip.
Yes.
And be like, hey, this person's a great person. And then you post online. And then
Or
they'll
tell
come
him he's
back.
a dick because
Yes.
he didn't leave me a good tip.
Would you fire somebody if, let's say, who's a famous Las Vegas celebrity we can use as an example here? I don't want to say Guy Fieri because he's awesome.
Levin.
Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton.
Okay.
Wayne Newton comes into one of your restaurants.
And you're like, holy shit, that guy's still
He's
alive?
there with like 8 people and his weird tan, and he's dripping all over the table with that bronzer that he's got on. And he's there, pretty
No
good
offense,
sized party. Yeah, pretty good sized party. They rack up a $10,000 bill.
He doesn't leave a tip.
He leaves $50 on the table. Walks away. Your server takes a picture of that tip, posts it on social media, and
She's gonna
says,
be fired.
"You're gonna fire him?"
Really?
Absolutely.
What if you leave $0?
Now I'll tell you what I would do in that situation. What would happen is now she would come up to me and say, I would probably tip her as the owner.
That's Taffer.
And here's why. And here's why. How do you turn this into something positive?
Yep.
Wayne Newton was in my restaurant. I got pictures of him in my restaurant. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to try to turn it into something good. I'm going to give her the few dollars that he didn't give her, try to turn that into something good. If I don't turn it into something good, it's going to be something bad.
Right.
So I got to stop that projectile and turn it positive.
That's why you're the Taf
That's
Daddy.
why you're the Taf Daddy.
right.
A lot of
right
people
there.
wouldn't try to spin it that way. Now, would you welcome Wayne Newton back into your restaurant with open arms if you knew he was a habitual stiffer?
Yes, I would, because I wouldn't say no to any customer. Even if you were a stranger and you didn't tip and you came in.
Okay.
You just can't do that. And you can't today because of social media, because what people do. You just can't do that.
But
you can't determine who's good enough for you and who's not.
But can we shame bad tippers?
You can, but I can't.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, you just leak their names to us, and we'll get it out
We'll
there.
tell it to them.
That's
okay.
a deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. All right.
So how much do you tip?
I usually tip about 20%.
I do like 20 to 28
Okay.
somewhere.
So you guys
in
are
there.
good tippers.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I think if you grow up and you've worked in the service industry at some point, you understand how important you make your living off those tips. It's certainly not the hourly wage. And it's a tough job too, so I like to pay that forward.
Yeah, I go 20% start, and it's very hard for me to go lower. You'd have to really
I never
do something
under.
bad.
I'm the same. I never
Right.
do under 20, and
Right.
typically I'll go to 30 if they're good.
Right, exactly. Then you go extra.
But they know who I am.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
But
that's
I would
right.
have done that anyway.
You got a
no,
target
you're
on
right.
you.
True,
Now, what about bar tabs? So if I rack up, let's say I buy, $35 worth of beer, all right, but it's all beers. Usually I tip, if I'm just going up to the bar one by one, I'll tip like $1 per beer that I get. But if it's at like,
Which could be a 33% tip.
which could be, yeah.
But it's a bucket transaction.
So
in essence.
once they give me, the final bill, am I supposed to tip 20% or am I supposed to tip $1 per
So
beer
did you
still?
tip as you go?
No. So if it's just like they're
Should've
charging
done
to
that.
my
Oh,
card.
I think there's no difference. I would do the same 20%. But I like the fact when people tip when they go.
Yeah.
Because as a bartender, I'm going to sell you beer for $3. You give me $1 tip. That's pretty cool.
It's like nice. So, yeah,
But
it's
what
like
it
we got
is,
a
so
relationship.
you're almost tipping more per transaction
Exactly.
in a bar rather than per total.
And,
Yes.
then they look at you first, and they come over to you, and they give you better
absolutely.
service.
Yes.
Win-win.
Absolutely.
Yes. Here's a good question. Farm to table. That's a crock of shit, right?
Good question.
It is because most of it
Thank
isn't
you.
farm to table.
Thank you.
For example,
Thank
the
you.
spices come out of a jar.
Yeah.
This comes out
I was
of a
about to say
jar.
that.
Yeah.
Spices.
I'm partners in a distillery in Nevada that is we call ground to glass. But even distilleries that say estate bottling and everything, I'm going to tell you 90% of them are bullshit. They're not growing everything themselves. They're importing other things. There's ingredients that they don't use. Unfortunately, those terms aren't legally defined.
Okay.
So you can say them and get away with a lot of gray fringe bullshit on those.
Okay.
Throw this into one of these bars, sky to jug, and we just serve people rainwater.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Sky to toilet.
Not bad.
So then why don't we just serve them grain alcohol and rainwater, the most pure
Not
cocktail you
bad.
can?
Not
That actually
bad.
sounds
That's
pretty good to me.
it's
Does
actually
sound
coming
pretty good,
from
yeah.
the earth.
Yes.
Yes, where the sky. You that can be the slogan of the bar, where the sky and the land meet. At
So
this
if
bar.
you're gonna drink grain alcohol and rainwater, then you don't want that to go down the toilet. You should piss outside.
Yes.
You give it back
It'll
to
be like
nature.
we'll call it the big dog bar, and we'll just act like dogs. You just piss everywhere.
So years ago, we used to do these beer promotions. Beers were 25 cents till the first guy pissed.
That's great.
And we used to do that stuff all
Why
the
don't
time.
you do more of those?
So what
That's
we would
awesome.
do is I used to have to put security guys on the bushes outside.
to make sure no one
so,
sees.
so if you were the first guy, we'd grab your arm, put him in a this is the asshole, and everybody would curse him out.
You don't do those anymore. Like that's a great.
It's illegal in so many states to do that stuff now.
God damn
But
it.
I'll tell you a great story. Years ago, I owned a bar in California. You guys will like this, and they legalized happy hour. and you can't do happy hour there. So you can't discount for 2 hours or 3 hours. If you discount, you got to do it all day for 24 hours. So I can't do 2-for-1s or $2 off or any of that stuff during happy hour. So I was really pissed off about it. So I called my banker, and I ordered 2,000 $2 bills. And I folded the $2 bills in half, and I used them as coasters during happy hour.
Ooh.
I found that the alcohol authority can't regulate my napkins. You paid full price for that cocktail.
Yes.
I can use whatever fucking napkin I choose.
That's a great idea.
Everybody got a $2 bill as a napkin, and it took them about 8 months to change the law.
I love
And then
that.
they changed the law, and then that was the end of it.
How many laws have you had changed on you?
There's a
How many
few that we've
Taffer
done over
laws?
the
Like,
years.
you know, like the bird law in NBA and there's all these type of laws. Like a player changes how contracts get made. How many times has Taffer law happened?
I'm not certain. Maybe 2 or 3 times.
That's great.
That is
impact
pretty cool.
those things.
That's peak.
That's a goal. I want to. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to
Change
piss
the law?
off a legislator so bad that
they had to
they
stop
come right
doing
after
this.
me.
Yeah. You should do
That's
the
significant.
Yeah,
you should
you got
bring
power
back
at that
the
point.
$2 one. A long time old idea of mine is counterfeiting $2 bills because no one really knows what they look like anymore. So you could pass those
That's
off.
not
That's
really
pretty good. When I was a kid in
that's
high
an
school,
idea. It's a
It's an
business
idea.
idea.
It's a business
It's a
idea.
business idea.
It
We're
is.
just going
It's
to counterfeit money.
yeah.
when I was in junior high school, not far from here on Long Island, we had a print shop, and I was printing dollar bills. So I had the negatives and the print, and they're up on the clips, and they're drawing out of the developer and everything. And I don't know, I'm 14 years old, and the teacher walks into the dark room with the red lights, and he sees the dollar bills hanging over there, and he looks at me and goes, "Taffer, you're an idiot. Why didn't you do 20s?"
Yeah, right.
You know, and I realized what a freaking idiot I was.
You got to move so much money with the ones. You got to wash all that.
Were they any good?
No, I mean, they were bigger than normal, and I wasn't
okay.
counterfeiting.
All right.
I was just screwing around,
Okay.
but still, he
Yes.
busted me.
You hate paper straws too, right?
No, you know, I'm not. I think that paper straws are cooler than plastic straws.
But they like break apart in your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, it depends upon which ones. They're cool.
3
What's
sips.
cool about them is they're multicolored. There's a lot of cool things you can do in paper straws that you can in plastic.
And you save the sea turtles.
I think there's no reason to use a plastic. There's good paper ones now. There's some
There
you
are?
even notice. Yeah.
I haven't seen any good paper ones. They haven't made their way out east.
The
yet.
good
Yeah,
paper.
they will.
I saw a good paper one, but it was laminated, like it was covered with plastic.
Yeah.
That's why it's
So it
stuck
kinda
together.
defeats
Yeah,
the
it was
no,
a plastic
that
straw.
could be a biodegradable coating on those too. It doesn't necessarily mean it's plastic.
You could use like a $2 bill just rolled up as a straw too.
Yeah,
I've done that before.
that many times.
Do you guys ever have a Lick Made? Remember those straws that have the stripes on them that have the powder in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remember those? And
Yes.
you'd open those and you'd pour.
Yes,
Those
the
are-
sugar is just straight sugar.
Yeah, those are paper straws.
So you're Mr. Vegas. I think we're all comfortable calling you Mr. Vegas now.
Okay.
Are you the biggest dog in town?
I'm not sure I'm the biggest dog in town. I'm pretty well known.
Who's
no.
the biggest dog in town?
Oof. There's a lot of big dogs in Las Vegas.
Give us list some dogs.
Steve Wynn.
That's pretty
Well,
big
pretty
dog.
big dog.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sheldon
real
Adelson, who
big
owns
dog.
Venetian. Pretty
Okay.
big dog.
What about David Blaine?
Who the hell's David?
David Blaine. I mean, he's a magician.
I don't even know who he is.
What about
Copperfield.
Copperfield? What about
Well,
Penn
David
Teller?
Copperfield is going. Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars is a player.
Yeah, he
What
is.
about the guy who got his face eaten by a tiger?
Oh, Siegfried.
Yeah.
Siegfried and Roy. Well, they're a little retired now.
Yeah, because the tiger thing?
But they're still very active in charities and stuff in town. You know what's really interesting about Vegas is like a small town. It really is. And this circle of people that you're talking about all know each other. And we all hang together. And it's a really cool town in this way. Once you're in, you're sort of in Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Do you
you're
ever-
connected.
You party with Imagine Dragons?
I have.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good friends of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good guys.
Good guys. Very good guys.
So, but you were like one of the faces of the Las Vegas Golden Knights in their first year.
I am big time.
That was a
Still
great,
am.
great run that you guys had. Like
I
you
was
guys really did it all that year, didn't you?
It was amazing. I was with Jeremy Roenick last night.
I saw that
on
picture.
NHL. Yeah.
Yeah.
With who's great freaking guy.
Oh, yeah, he is a great guy. Are you going to get season tickets to the Raiders?
Yes, of course.
Are you going to get a box?
No, it's just season tickets, but I got one for you.
You're not
anytime
a
you
big
want one.
time player.
Nah.
Yeah, you're getting a
Okay,
box. You're
yeah.
gonna get a box.
You got to get a box.
Are you-
I'm
Are
much
gonna
more
be-
of a hockey guy and a baseball guy than I
You
am
should
a
get in with
football guy.
Mark Davis, though. That guy parties.
He's going to be the new big dog in Vegas
Yeah.
when he goes out
Yeah,
there.
we'll see.
All white.
Look out.
Yep. Even after Labor Day.
Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you?
it's a big no-no.
Anyway, the night story was a great story.
Yeah.
You know, and this year they're struggling with it. We had a good game the other day, but we'll see what happens. But it was a unbelievable experience to live through that season as a fan. Right. Really freaking special.
Yeah.
And the town really like kind of rallied around the team, which was cool to watch. Do you think that they're going to have that same attitude towards the Raiders? Even if the Raiders will probably come to town. I mean, this is like we're looking 3 years down the line here.
Yeah.
Next season.
It's
No,
next.
next season, I think they have to decide if they want to play at like UNLV or something. It's
Yeah,
in the next 2 years. I think the stadium's coming in 3.
Have you seen the stadium cam?
No.
I have not.
There's a stadium cam. You can watch them building it. It's unbelievable. You know, in Vegas, we're one of the only cities in the world that does 3 shifts a day in construction without
Interesting.
overtime. So this thing comes up out of the ground. It's like 4 feet a day.
Well, yeah,
it's
there's no
unbelievable.
winter, right.
Yeah, check out the cam. It's cool.
Okay.
I will. Yeah, that's actually a great way to kill time. But do you think the town is going to like rally around the Raiders, even if they're not that great right off the bat? Or I mean, they were kind of all in on the Knights from day one.
Yeah.
Do you see that same thing happening with the Raiders or no?
Well, there was a dynamic because of the tragedy last year.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, the relationship between the Knights and the fans started before the first game, when they went to the hospitals and they dealt with, all of the victims from the tragedy. And then the tragedy created a scenario, and you've probably seen some of the documentaries where they felt they had to win because of this. It was really, I just think that it created a dynamic that the Raiders aren't going to have.
Yeah.
And this city
Well,
loved
John
this
Gruden
team.
is his own kind of tragedy, just like in a football sense.
It could be.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that the connection is going to quite be the same. Yeah. Also, the Raiders are a pre-existing team. The Knights were new. They were sort of a virgin team, if you will.
True.
It was interesting to go through that experience, though, because when they announced the name, everybody said, "That sucks." Then when they showed us the logo, everybody said, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And then when they did Chance, our lizard, it's the freaking worst, man. Everybody said it was. Now I think the logo's cool as hell.
Yes.
The name isn't so bad.
The beginning where you feel like you're high on ecstasy with the drums and the guy
drum
going
butts.
around everywhere. I mean, it's awesome to watch.
Flaming arrows
Yeah.
like flying across the ice. Those
pretty
are
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's awesome.
So-
It's like one of these things where you look at the jerseys. Yeah, they might not look that great the first time you see them, but when you look at the totality of the team and the spectacle, it all works together.
It does. And, the branding, you're exactly right. And it's very Vegas. The production. So there's a VP of production for the team, Johnny Greco is his name, who came from the Bruins.
Who's
And the Cavaliers.
Who's
That's a great
Greco?
Vegas name.
Oh, I'm thinking of Joey Greco.
Yeah, Johnny
the guy
Greco.
got stabbed.
Cheaters,
yeah.
yeah.
He's the VP of production for the Golden Knights, and he came from the Cavaliers and the Bruins. So he created all of that imagery, all of that production, did an amazing job.
He's a ring chaser, then.
But something interesting happened last year. See, we couldn't enjoy hockey because of the tragedy. So what happened was every game started with something about the tragedy. So we could get that out of the way and not feel guilty when we started cheering for hockey. So there was this balance, this way they did it that was really freaking cool.
Have you taken a look at any of the designs from the new Raiders stadium, like the different bars and stuff they're going to be putting in there? Are they going to be doing anything new and weird, or is it going to be like Jerry's World again?
No, I think it's pretty. I think they're doing some pretty cutting edge stuff in there. I actually think some really cool experiential things.
Do they have a thing where it's like you can pour your own beer? I've seen that at a couple places.
Well, no, they're not doing that, but they're doing the up ones where they fill it from the bottom.
Yeah,
Yes.
what is that? What kind of sorcery is that?
So what it is, it does it from the bottom. The trick, the bummer of it is the glasses are expensive.
Ooh.
Because it has that valve thing on the bottom. But what it does, it fills it from the bottom up, and it fills the beer in roughly 20% of the time it takes to fill it from
Less
the
foam?
top. And
Less
there's less
foam?
foam.
I'm so dumb that every time I saw that, I didn't know it was a special glass. I was
Yeah.
like, how is it getting through the glass at the bottom?
Right, how's it piercing this glass?
Yeah.
Do the pour your
I'm guessing you had a few beers before you made that determination.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my natural state.
the pour yourself bars? Do those do well? Because I always get annoyed by them.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do it in every city, so it's
Okay.
very regulated. That's the one where you have the fob and you
Yes,
put it up.
yes.
It's pretty cool. But what it does now is we do it by the ounce. So if you pull a half glass, you get charged for a half glass. If you pull a full glass, you get charged for a good. And the problem with it is, in most states, I can't sell you more than 2 at once. So the way to do it is to say, if you put $100 on it, I'll give you $120 worth of beer.
Right.
That's the way to promote something like that, right? So I can sell you $100 at a time. You pick up great value. You come, you use it all the time.
Yep.
I can only sell you 2 beers at a time in a lot of states on it because I can only sell 2 drinks at a time.
Yep.
So you're still coming back and forth to the bar, and it just doesn't make it work.
Yeah.
What laws or regulations out there are your biggest pet peeves right now that you would like to see eliminated?
It isn't eliminated as much as what's coming. So right now, and don't hold me to an exact number, right now there's about 670 pieces of legislation relating to the regulation of alcohol in bars right now.
Okay, sound like Merrill Hodge.
This
No, and it's
is
scary. And what happens is, in the federal government, it's very hard for a congressman or senator to stay up and defend alcohol. So what happens is this shit just passes. Even if it isn't right, it passes because nobody will speak up against it. So things like interconnect systems are scaring the shit out of us.
What is that?
That's sniffers in cars. Now it's happening in 7 countries.
Wait, what do you mean sniffers in
Like
cars?
a breathalyzer?
Yeah, they're sniffing units that are built into cars. Now a lot of drunken
That seems like a good thing.
people that get DUI sometimes have to have these installed in
Yes.
cars by court orders.
40-year-old
And
virgin.
what they are is they're sniffers, and it sniffs your breath. And it knows if you've drank. So if you get in the car and the sniffer sees alcohol in your breath, you put the key in ignition, the car will not start.
That's good.
Well, it's good unless you spilt a drink on your pants and didn't drink at all, and you get in your car and your child is sick, has to go to the hospital. You poured a drink on your leg. You haven't been drinking
seems
at all.
very specific.
You get in your car.
Seems very specific.
You're pissed off. You're rattled at home because your kid's crying, and you're about to just like drink a glass of whiskey or maybe like give it a drop of whiskey on its pacifier, but instead you drop it on yourself.
And then, but you're home, so you can change.
But now you can't take it to the hospital.
So,
Listen, Big
My
Cat,
point is-
listen, I'm the one that's not afraid to stand on the table and defend alcohol here.
yeah.
Well, my point is it's only about 80% accurate. So 20% of the time, that car is not going to start, and it's not your fault. That's bullshit.
Okay.
So you know,
Feels like it'd save a lot of lives, though. Gonna just throw that out there.
well, let me throw this at you.
Okay.
About 8 or 10% of veterinarians in the world are freaking crooks. Okay. They sell you dental work for dogs that you don't need and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I swipe that. If they're like,
About-
oh yeah, your dog needs this, I'm like, yep, sure.
So about 8 or 10% of all the doctors in the world are thieves.
That's why I
about
never
8
go
or-
to the doctor.
About 8 or 10% of the lawyer, maybe 20% of them
Yeah.
are thieves. But my point is this: 8 to 10% of almost any group are the ones that fuck it up for the other 90%.
This is good.
And it's the same thing with people who overdrink. It's about 8 or 10% of the population, and they fuck it up for all of us. And you know, there's a point where there should be accountability on them, but it shouldn't hurt you if you're not one of them.
Okay.
Okay,
And
these are good points.
This whole interconnect technology, you know, is that kind of a thing.
I feel like if it is a system truly that is that can get up to 95, 99% or whatever, I think I agree with Big Cat. I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I think so too, but it's not.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
technology is
until
not there
until we
yet.
get there. So what other regulations are we going to be looking out for?
You know, there's other things that are going on regulatory-wise, which relates to hours of operation. Right, to-go laws are changing in a number of places. California was about to change to 4 in the morning, actually in a good direction, but it didn't pass. So most of the things happening now relate to your ability to discount.
Okay.
So it's a bizarre thing. If you get a liquor license, you sell liquor. That's what you do. But you're not allowed to incentivize the sale of that liquor. Any other business, if I sell T-shirts, I can promote my T-shirts. I can incentivize my T-shirts. I can discount my T-shirts. I can't do that in a bar business.
So I actually think the 4 a.m. is a bad idea. I think more places should be like the Chicago law, where there's late night bars. So you have to make
So
the
it's a different
conscious
license.
decision. You have to at 2:00 the bar closes, and you have to be like, okay, I want to continue my night, because when it stays open till 4 or 5. You're basically partying, and then you're like, shit, it's 5 o'clock. I had no idea.
Well, you know what happens at that time? At about 2 in the morning, they start coming in drunk from the other bars.
Well, yeah, of course.
So now
That's why
another
it's
bar
fun.
got him drunk.
Right, everyone gets in there together. It's
But
fun.
the problem is, another bar got him drunk, and I'm now liable for it.
Yeah, that's
So I'm not a big believer of doing that. So I'm with you. I think that it should be a special late night license.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that those people should qualify for that license.
They
Yes.
should have to wait in line and be screened when they go in.
Right,
Yeah.
and also
I
just
got-
a nice being like, okay, I do want to continue my night, not like
Yes.
you just all of a sudden it's 4 in the morning, you didn't even realize how drunk you were.
90%
And let me
of the
give you an
time.
example of something that's fucked up. Right now, there's a phrase in our industry that says, don't drink and drive.
That's a good phrase.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
No, it isn't, because you can have a glass of wine and drive.
True.
It doesn't mean don't drink and drive. The statement should be drink and drive responsibly.
Or don't
Okay,
drink.
that's-
can
I
have-
can see why that could get confusing, though.
Yes. So my point is this: the message.
Drink responsibly and drive.
Don't. I mean, you can have a gin and tonic and drive home.
Don't drink too much and drive.
Drink responsibly if you're going to drive. So have one. My point is this: don't drink and drive is extreme. And if people buy into that premise, don't drink and drive, it can destroy our industry. It means you can't have a glass of wine with dinner
True.
and
Yeah.
drive home. So this messaging is dangerous sometimes.
I don't know that many people out there are like, I can't have a single beer and drive.
When my daughter was 10 years old, if I opened a can of Coke in my car, she would go nuts on me. You can't drink and drive, Dad.
Right.
So there are people that actually are conditioned to think that way. My point is this, that it sometimes becomes almost a little militant on the industry.
That's true.
I understand that, yeah.
We want to protect people.
You're standing up for us.
We want to protect people, but we don't want to hurt an industry. And there's a balance. There's a way to do both.
You know who you should be lobbying for is like the Google self-driving cars, and I'm sure Elon Musk has
Yeah.
something, because if we get those humming, then you go out and get
Yeah.
as plowed as you want.
So I read something written by the CEO of Mercedes-Benz a few weeks ago. It frickin' blew me away. He says in 15 years that we're not going to own cars anymore. They're all going to be electric vehicles. You're going to pick up your phone. You're going to Uber it or whatever. The vehicle will pull up in front of your house. It'll be your own vehicle. In the vehicle will be television. You'll work. You'll do all that. And that those changes are going to change the entire world. For example, people will live farther from the city because the drive won't matter anymore. There won't be traffic. It'll all be coordinated.
See, I call
Property
bullshit.
values will change.
15 years.
We haven't had hovercrafts yet. How the hell are they going to do this?
What are you talking about? I saw a hover motorcycle 2 days ago.
No,
Where?
you didn't.
I did.
In a video game?
Google it up. It's on the marketplace.
There's no way.
There's a hover
Motorcycle.
motorcycle now.
I'm not talking about the Elon Musk stuff where he's like, I got a rocket that goes to Mars and then it blows up. I'm talking real stuff that everyone can have. We don't even have hovercrafts. How the hell are we going to have that?
There is a hover bike.
So
but don't expect to
why
fly
do you
cheap.
think? Let me ask you a question.
Oh, cops have it.
Why do you
Of course
think?
they do.
Why do you think Google is spending all this money for self-driving cars?
Because they want to own our lives and make us robots that they can then use for their industry.
Do you think the insurance companies want to have automatically driving cars, or you think they want you to drive it?
They want automatic. Well, no.
The insurance companies.
They make money off premiums.
Yes,
so
they make money off us fucking up.
Yeah,
But
so
there's still no.
Not fucking up.
not
They're paying
fucking
to
up.
not
Here's
fuck
what I
up.
believe. I believe the government wants us to have automatic cars. I believe the insurance companies want us to have automatic cars. And I believe that the companies like Uber, Google, Apple, all of this pressure is to take the steering wheel away from us.
I think that's probably going to happen eventually.
will.
15 years sounds like.
But why
an
would
extremely
insurance?
fast- Yeah,
Because
no.
we wouldn't need insurance if everything was automated.
Check a thing that he wrote because it's really pretty powerful. But what he suggests is the auto insurance disappears, the auto repair industry disappears, gasoline
That's not
engines
good.
disappear.
That's not good.
So, I mean, there's a
How
whole,
am I going to have the mechanic who rips me off? Like he's got to feed his family.
But then people said that about computers 25 years ago.
That's true. Well, 15,
is too much for
15
me.
years sounds a little extreme.
Yeah.
That's what they're claiming.
Okay, well, maybe for people that can afford Mercedes-Benz, maybe they'll be the ones that are in these,
I don't know if he's right or wrong, but it's
Yeah.
an interesting premise. The
Yeah,
whole
no,
thought
it
of
is.
it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
It's a
like
little,
it.
it's a little Jetsons, if you will.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. All right, my last question, SeatGeek question. Put in promo code TAKE. You get $10 off your SeatGeek purchase if you want to go to a Vegas Knights game
Yeah.
and maybe see Jon Taffer there.
I will be there almost every time.
Put in promo code TAKE. You get $10 off your SeatGeek purchase. I noticed that you dodged a question earlier.
What question?
Will we get to use your private jet when we come on Bar Rescue this year?
You know, guys, you cornered me, but you know I love you.
Yeah.
You know that.
But
And we're really buddies.
But there's love, and then there's you can use my private jet love.
You can use my jet with me.
Okay.
But
That's
I would
good.
never leave him alone
No,
in it,
no,
if you
no,
know what
no.
I'm saying.
I'd be like, yeah, hey, here's a note.
Honestly,
Taffer said I could fly it.
It'd be
Yeah.
a blast if we flew there together, did the episode.
Yes.
I would
That'd be
absolutely take advantage of that.
Let's
You're
do
allowed
it.
to sit in the cockpit.
fun. And
rule.
for your listeners, and I think we should reiterate
Do you have ice cream on it?
that you.
Okay, I'm on it. Yeah, ice cream.
So I think we should reiterate that I did lose the bet last year.
Yes, you lost the BFT. You
Yeah,
lost
I
the bet,
did. And that I honored it, gave you all the respect
You
after
did.
beating
absolutely.
you up about it.
You were very gracious.
and we're going to do a show.
And you are going to get your cocktails named after you.
Yep.
Okay.
And I added the recon in an episode.
Yep, and we just added the jet.
So I am a man of my word.
We're all contributing
And we-
to this.
Yeah, you just added the jet. It's every minute I'm getting hurt even more.
Yeah,
here.
and I believe you said something earlier about like a co-producer credit on the episode.
Yeah.
which is fine.
So we get the royalties, so we get a check like
Get
the
the
Friends
back end.
check. We get that every month.
Every time it airs.
Every
So
time
should,
they airs.
should I just work for you that week?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's fine.
That works. That works. I told you it's
And
been a
then
bit.
10% off the future earnings of the bar. So
Yeah, we
pretty
told
happy
you it's
about
been a
that.
long football season.
I hear you, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a
So I
long
want to know
football
before we go, how far are you down?
No, I'm okay.
How far are you down?
I'm
Come
okay.
on.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
So now he's dodging the fucking question.
Yeah, I'm
He
okay.
is.
Dan?
I don't want to say answer.
Dan?
I'm okay.
Do you know? Do you know the number?
We don't talk about the numbers. We're
We
both
don't talk- we
down.
don't talk
We're
numbers.
both down pretty far.
Yeah, we
so
don't talk numbers.
what's pretty far?
Like
Hundreds of thousands.
No.
well,
Well,
yeah, that was the second one.
Yeah.
Thousands?
Yeah, the second
We're
one.
okay.
So we talking 4 digits or 5 digits?
Listen, I think this is where it starts to. We're down.
So
Down.
so obviously it's not 4 digits. We're talking
Down.
5 digits
Down.
here.
Down.
So not only are you down, you completely fucked up the season. Then is what you're
Yes.
telling
Well,
me.
no,
the
we
season's
still
been
got-
long fucked
We got
up.
6 weeks left.
Long fucked
Still
up.
a lot of winning left to do.
So are you down enough that you can recover?
Yeah. After I'm counting on this episode of Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
Float me until
quit,
next year. Yeah.
The only way to lose is if you walk away.
That's true.
Well, so you're not walking away.
No,
So
fuck
you're just
no.
going to dive in deeper. That's the way
We'll
to
be
go.
fine. We'll be fine. All right, Jon Taffer, thank you as always.
I love you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
love
man.
you too.
Love you.
Love you.
Thanks for
That's
saying
the
it
first
first,
time
yeah.
anyone said that to us first.
I love you guys.
I love you.
I always feel like I'm with family when I'm
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. We gave a hug.
Oh,
We've
love
been
you.
working together long 6
Long
years.
6 years.
Yeah.
I think we did the first Bar Rescue in 2013. So it's about
You didn't have
2019.
one gray hair when I met you.
Oh,
Look,
it's
he's got a
bad,
couple
I
on the
know.
sides.
I
He
dyed
dyed
the
it,
hair.
too.
I dyed the head.
So let
I
me
gotta
have.
dye
Is it
this.
happening down below? Are
Yeah,
your pubes
This is
turning
over.
gray too?
This is
Pube
over.
situation, like-
I'll show you later.
Because I'm guessing the more he loses in football, the grayer his pubes are turning.
Yes.
There's a
That
correlation.
goes away first.
That's a
yeah.
fact.
The silver
care, guys.
fox.
Oh man, that was awesome.
That was fun, John.